Hello everyone, welcome back to the Battle War Conflict channel. Please subscribe and like my videos. Let me take you right into the story. Imagine dawn breaking over a war's guard horizon, the rumble of heavy tracks and the crackling of radio chatter as one of the world's most vaunted armored forces finds itself reeling. Thousands of troops lost, elite units shattered, and the flagship tank of a military power reduced to scrap metal in the mud. That is the stark reality facing Israel in this moment, and we're going to dive deep into how and why the collapse happened. Exterior, from the outside, the machine is imposing. The tank that symbolizes might, the armor, the turret, the barrel turned towards the horizon. For years, the Israeli army's heavy armor with the prominent flagship tank seemed unassailable. Its silhouette against desert and cityscape alike announced dominance. The tracks, wide and heavy, churned across terrain, the turret mounted high, ready to deliver its lethal payload. But now those same external hallmarks of power, the thick armor plates, the advanced sensors jutting from the sides, the robust engine bay at the front, have become theater for defeat. Scraped paint, shrapnels, guard hulls, turret collars cracked, and tracked vehicles abandoned in the field line tell the story. What once were symbols of invincibility now lie as hulks or are recovered under heavy repair. The imposing exterior is no longer enough to guarantee battlefield supremacy. Despite the outward appearance of strength, the forces behind have found themselves exposed. Interior, now let's move inside, to the heart of what makes the machine more than just metal: the crew compartment, the electronics, the ammunition stowage, the engine bay and systems that allow it to fight. Inside the tank, the view is claustrophobic. Dim hatches open to the outside world, thick blast, doors closing off the crew from the brutal environment beyond the armor. The driver sits low in front, peering out through vision blocks or a periscope, surrounded by insulation and armor. To the side, the gunner manipulates the targeting system, laser range, finder, thermal camera, computer sighting module. Above them, the commander rotates in his cupola, scanning for threats, communicating with infantry, calling for fire. Ammunition racks line compartments, designed to detonate away from the crew compartment in case of hit. And emergency escape hatches ensure exit if the worst happens. Power flows from the diesel, turbo engine at the front. Transmission drives the tracks. Hydraulic systems handle turret traverse and gun elevation, and networking cables link to external sensors and drones. But now consider what happens when this interior ecosystem is stressed. When ambushes strike, atoms appear from unexpected angles, and the electronics suffer from jamming or damage. The crew becomes trapped, the systems degrade, the notion of invulnerability evaporates. Reports show instances where the supposedly secure ammunition stowage still detonated, where sensors were disabled, where the driver's vision blocks cracked under blast pressure, leaving the interior a death trap rather than a fortress. The interior that promised to protect and empower has been tested and found wanting in urban and asymmetrical warfare scenarios. Fundamentally, the failure is not just in the hull or engine. It's in the network of systems, human factors, logistics, and tactics that drive this machine. Even the valley of noise, heat, and danger inside the tank now reverberates with the echoes of defeat. Performance, when it worked well, the performance of this fighting machine was impressive. High speed for its weight, robust fire, power, excellent cross-country mobility, and well-integrated sensor-to-shooter chain. In ideal conditions, the tank could displace the enemy, punch through defenses, and dominate open terrain, but in the current context, performance has faltered. It's not just the mechanical performance, but operational performance, the coordination with infantry, air cover, logistics, intelligence, maintenance, and morale. Under intense asymmetric threats and guerrilla tactics, the tank has been immobilized, ambushed, and outmaneuvered. Crew losses mount, recovery operations slow, damaged vehicles accumulate. The performance gap between expectation and reality becomes wide. Systems that were built for symmetrical battlefields are now fighting in narrow alleys, urban ruins, and against light but deadly threats. What looked like a performance certainty now reveals its vulnerability. Safety features. In its design, this machine boasted safety features: modular armor, mine blast mitigation, crew survival compartments, escape hatches, active protection systems to intercept incoming missiles, and systems to isolate fire or explosion risk. These features gave the crew a confidence that they were protected inside the beast of steel. Yet, the safety promise has been undermined. The active protection may fail against novel drones or top attack weapons. The modular armor may not keep up with evolving warheads. Mine blasts under the belly may still injure the crew. Escape hatches may be jammed when the tank is inverted or lit on fire. The safety features, once a strong draw for commanders and crews, now look like standard design compromises pressed into extended combat beyond initial assumptions. The critical question becomes, when the tank lies disabled in the field and crews are cut off or wounded, how effective are those safety systems in practice? In many of the losses recorded, the losses were not due to a single weak link but a cascade: logistics delay, battlefield isolation, ambush, followed by failure of one or more safety systems to contain the damage or get the crew home. The protective promise holds only if every link in the chain remains intact, and that's proving harder than expected. Unique selling points. Historically, this system offered several unique selling points. First, the heavy armor and frontal engine layout offered high crew protection and the ability to carry infantry inside or evacuate wounded. Second, the firepower large caliber smoothbore gun capable of firing rounds and missiles, advanced targeting systems. Third, integration with air and ground reconnaissance, modular upgrade paths, and efficacious logistics support within its operating doctrine. Fourth, it served as a symbol of deterrence, the tank not just as a machine but as a statement of military ascendancy. But in the light of recent losses, those unique selling points have been challenged. The armor that once seemed impenetrable has been breached. The firepower has been blunted by ambush tactics. The symbol of deterrence has become a symbol of overreach. In the Grand Review, the USB is no longer invincible heavy tank, but high-end heavy tank with caveats in modern asymmetric war. The lesson: selling points hold in the right fight, but war evolves. Price. While it's somewhat metaphorical here, you don't buy a tank like a consumer vehicle. The cost in lives, material, reputation, and strategic momentum is steep. The monetary price for each unit is enormous, not just in hardware cost, but in maintenance, logistics, fuel, training, and battlefield repair. But the greater price now is measured in thousands of troops lost, tanks damaged or destroyed, halted operations, and strategic setbacks. The price of failure here is not just scrap metal and parts, it's the cost of morale, of deterrence credibility, and of political risk. As the headline suggests, a Ribuan Pasukan Tewas, thousands of soldiers killed, tank Merkava jadi Besi Rongsok. Merkava tank turned into scrap metal, and headlines of panic within leadership such as the Benjamin Netanyahu camp signal the price is both tangible and intangible. Conclusion. In closing, what we have examined is more than a hardware review, it's a case study of how high-end military capability can be humbled when the underlying assumptions of war are challenged. The tank that once dominated now faces defeat, not because of a single flaw but because the entire ecosystem, from crew protection to tactical doctrine to logistics, was tested in ways it did not fully anticipate. The external appearance of strength remains, but inside the hull, the reality is one of stress, overload, and failure under pressure. The performance that was expected has been disrupted, the safety that was presumed has been compromised, the unique selling points have been deconstructed by the very nature of modern warfare, and the price has been paid in blood, scrap, and credibility. For Israel, this moment is a warning that even premium systems can be outmatched if strategy, terrain, tactics, and will are misaligned. For viewers, it is a reminder: heavy armor and big guns are no guarantee. They must be embedded within the right fight, the right plan, the right people. Thanks for tuning in. Don't forget to subscribe and like. and we'll be back with more analysis from the front lines of war and conflict.